Hi, and welcome back to our channel. We all know that bigger tires give you more grip, right? Well, no, that's not exactly how it works. Let's make a video that is not directly related to our manufacturing, but that applies to every bicycle, every motorbike, and even every car. Let's go. So, in order to understand why that is the case, we have to understand first that rubber has one big specificity: it saturates. Okay, what does that mean? Well, for other materials like steel or any kind of plastics, they do not have the elasticity needed for them to touch the surface at every point. Every surface is irregular, and what you will get with metal or plastics is that it will only touch at the peaks, okay? So the microscopic peaks of the surface will meet the microscopic peaks of the other surface. So it will only touch at certain specific points. Rubber is very elastic, so it deforms and it will touch every point of the contact surface, okay? Like this, right? So, what does that mean for our case? Well, this means for us that applying a greater vertical load on the same contact surface will not increase the grip of the tire, okay? The grip depends on roughly the number of molecules of one surface that touches the other surface. If we were talking about metal or plastics, if you apply a greater load, you increase the number of points of contact. Okay, so you increase the ability of the surfaces to not slip when there is a lateral force applied. Okay, but in that case, since the rubber saturates, applying a greater vertical load on the same contact surface does not provide any more grip. Okay, so if you want more grip, you will have to increase the contact surface between the rubber and the road. But what determines the size of the contact surface between the tire and the road? It is the pressure of the tire. Let's see why. You see, there is a lot of interesting math about this phenomenon, and for the scientific people among you, here it is. So you can pause the video to check it all out, okay? But we do not have to dive deep into this math, but only to remember one thing that is very important, okay? Which is that the product of the pressure of the tire times the radius of curvature of the tire is equal to the tension inside the fibers of the tire. So what does that mean? Well, it means that at the level of the contact surface between the rubber and the road, since the road is locally flat, compared to the tire which is curved, right? There is, since the tire will deform to meet the surface of the road, there is a radius of curvature of the tire that is virtually infinite. Okay? Why infinite? a small radius of curvature results in a small circle, okay? But if you want a surface that is very flat, you have to expand the radius of curvature, okay? And if you expand the radius of curvature at infinity, you get a flat surface, okay? So, since the product of the pressure and the radius of curvature is equal to the tension inside the fibers of the tire, if the radius goes to infinity, since the tension inside the fibers of the tire cannot go to infinity, it means that the pressure will have to be zero, okay? If you want something times infinity equals some finite quantity, you have the something to be zero, okay? In other words, the radius of curvature grows very quickly, okay? So the pressure will have to decrease very quickly, okay? In order for the result of the product to be reasonably low, okay? So the difference in pressure between the inside and the outside at the level of the contact surface between the rubber and the road is zero. What does that mean? It means that the pressure inside equals the pressure outside. What does that mean? The pressure exerted from the road onto the tire, as you may know, is equal to the force exerted by the road onto the tire divided by the surface area of contact. Okay, but what does that imply? The force exerted by the road on the tire is known and constant. It is the weight of the vehicle plus the rider, right? So you cannot change this part, okay? You cannot change the force exerted by the road onto the tire. So if the pressure is equal to the force divided by the surface area, if you want the surface area to grow since it's at the bottom of the quotient, you have to lower the pressure, right? And since the pressure outside is the same as the pressure inside, you have to lower the pressure at which you inflate your tire in order to increase your surface area of contact and to have a better grip, okay? So that is the reason, scientific reason, why if you want more grip, you have to lower the pressure of your tires. But what does that have to do with the common belief that wider and bigger tires will get you more grip? Well, of course, there's a bit of truth inside this statement, but let's see exactly what is that truth. What we have shown here is that the surface area of contact and thus the grip that you have with your vehicle, whether it's a bike, a motorcycle, a car, is determined only by the pressure of your tires. Okay? So, without changing your tires, you can get more grip by lowering the pressure. Okay? So why do we put bigger tires to feel like we have more grip? Well, it is because there's a limit to the point where you can lower the pressure on a tire. Okay? If you lower the pressure too much, well, what will happen is that when there's a little bump on the road, a little excess force, the pressure will not be sufficient for your rim not to pinch the tire, okay, between the rim and the road. And then you will get the risk of a flat tire, okay? And the reason for this is that a wider tire will not need the surface area of contact with the ground to extend on the direction of rolling. It can extend on the direction perpendicular to rolling. Okay? So, if you take a wheel on the road, if you have a very thin tire, what will happen is that with low pressure needed for more grip, the tire will not be able to provide the surface area in that direction, okay, because it is not wide enough. It will have to provide it in this direction, okay? So that will mean, with pressure applied to your wheel, that you will have the rim getting closer and closer to the road, okay? With a wider tire, you will not have the need for this part and this part of the tire to touch the road in order to augment, to allow the surface area to be greater. Okay? It will be provided, this rise in the surface area of contact, in this direction. Okay? So, grip is equal to large surface area of contact between the rubber and the road. And technically you have to use wide tire to be able to do that. But in a certain range, you can have more grip by just lowering the pressure. And if you want to stay at the same pressure, if you put wide tires on your vehicle, you will not gain grip. Okay? If you have a tire that is 20% larger, but at the same pressure, let's say it's a 2 bar for a car or a 5 bar for a bike, etc. If you stay at the same pressure, a lower wide tire will not get you more grip. You will have to decrease the pressure at the same time. Okay? So, we hope that this has provided to you some insights, some interesting insights about tires and grip, and we'll see you in another video, and we thank you for watching.